Hi everyone, I'm Wendy and this is Show Me Mo Vegan, where I make easy whole food vegan meals. And today I'm showing you a pumpkin cherry oatmeal bake. This is something that I love to eat for breakfast and also just to have as a snack. It's really easy to put together and you can swap out ingredients using different fruits and flavorings to your liking. I'll put a link below to a blog post with this recipe. You could really mix all of this in one bowl, but I'm going to do wet and dry ingredients separately. So I'm starting with 3/4 of a cup of soy milk. You could use any kind of plant milk you like. I prefer soy milk. I like to find one that's just soybeans and water. Then I'm adding 1 cup of pumpkin puree. Make sure you just get plain pumpkin that isn't a pumpkin pie filling with a lot of additives. Then I'm adding 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed and about 3 tablespoons of whatever sweetener you like. I'm using date syrup, but I've also used maple syrup, or you could even use date sugar. And you can use more or less sweetener to satisfy your own taste preferences. And like I said, you could mix everything together, but it's nice to mix the wet ingredients separately to get the pumpkin puree incorporated evenly. If you don't like pumpkin and you wanted to add more sweetness, you could also swap out bananas for the pumpkin puree. A can of pumpkin is about 1.5 cups, so you'd want to use about that amount of mashed bananas. So I'll set this mixture aside while we mix up the dry ingredients. I have rolled oats here, and I'm going to add 3 cups. For flavor, I'm adding a pumpkin pie spice. This is one that I just mixed up myself, but you could use any one you like. I'm doing about 1.5 teaspoons. If you don't like pumpkin pie spice, you could also simply use cinnamon. Then I'm also adding a teaspoon of vanilla powder. I started using vanilla powder because Chef AJ talks about how great it is, and after using it for a while, she is totally right. Even if you get a pure vanilla extract, this is what I used to use. These are made in an alcohol solution, and this just tastes like alcohol to me now. I don't even get the vanilla flavor. So vanilla powder really is delicious. And then I'm also adding 1/2 cup of chopped nuts. This is a mixture of pecans and walnuts. If you need to avoid nuts for any reason, you can simply omit this. And we'll mix the dry ingredients together so all the flavors are fully incorporated. And this is not part of my original recipe, but I just decided I wanted to make this a chocolate flavored pumpkin cherry oat bake. You can use cocoa powder or cacao, but I'm using carob powder today. Carob powder is a great alternative to cocoa if you're sensitive to caffeine. It has the chocolate flavor without any caffeine. I'm just going to add a few tablespoons. So again, I'll mix that up to fully incorporate the flavor. And then just combine the two. And then we need our cherries. I'll be using about 1 cup of frozen cherries. The ones that I have here are rather large, so I'm going to slice them in half. But if you get smaller cherries, you could feel free to just leave them whole. I also like slicing them in half because it's a good way to check for pits. Even though they're pitted, sometimes you get an occasional cherry that still has the pit. So we'll gently fold the cherries in. Feel free to add more cherries if you like, or even swap it out for something else. You could try raspberries or blueberries. And then I'm using a glass casserole dish. You could use a nonstick silicone one if you like, and if you want, you could add parchment paper to this, but I usually just put it straight in the glass, and if anything sticks on it afterwards, you can just soak it in warm water and then it'll wash out really easily. And then we'll just spread it out and then it's ready to bake. My oven is preheated to 375 and I'll bake this for about 40 to 45 minutes. I recommend going around the edge of the pan with a knife just to loosen it a little bit, but then as you can see, it comes out pretty clean. And we didn't put too much sweetener in here, just a few tablespoons of that date syrup. So if that's not sweet enough for you, feel free to add a little more date syrup on top, or if you like maple syrup. All right, my chocolate pumpkin cherry oat bake is out of the oven and it smells really delicious. Let's give it a taste. The carob powder was a good idea. I love this without, and that's how I usually make it, but the chocolate flavor definitely is a win. I'll leave a link in the description box below with the full recipe. I hope you'll give this one a try. Let me know in the comments what you think. And as always, feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.